Today, we will be learning how to collect water samples from your facility using multiple bottles. We want to ensure you are collecting your samples properly so you can better identify any potential sources of lead contamination in your facility's plumbing. Sampling drinking water for lead is the best way to know if lead sources are present within your plumbing system. You first need to create a sample plan using your 120 water account. During the sample planning phase, you should have created a sample event, added fixtures to your plan, and then assigned samples to each fixture you plan to test. 120 Water uses this information to fulfill your sampling kit. If this doesn't sound familiar, go back and watch our video on sample planning. Before you collect your water sample, please make sure you have not used any water in your school or childcare facility for a minimum of 8 hours, but no longer than 18 hours. This includes preparing food or beverages, washing dishes, or even flushing a toilet. We typically recommend collecting samples early in the morning on a Tuesday through Saturday, before anyone else enters the building. You would not want to collect your samples on a Monday morning, as you likely did not have normal use in the building over the weekend and would be over the maximum 18-hour stagnation, or period of time where no water was used in the building. To collect water samples, you'll just need your 120 Water sample kit, a cell phone, tablet, or laptop, and a pen. Bring your building map along as well. If your sample plan is complicated, you can write the fixture codes on a physical map to better orient yourself. Your 120 Water kit contains a return shipping label so that you can mail the samples back to the lab after collection, a chain of custody form so that we know who collected the samples and how we can reach them if we have any questions, and bottles to collect the water samples themselves. The bottles are already lined up by fixture code to help collection go quickly. Remember, you gave each fixture you want to test a unique code so that you can track it over time. If you assigned flush samples for a fixture, those will be right next to the initial sample in the box. The label on the side of the bottle contains all the information you'll need to figure out where to collect your sample from. We populated the label using the data you gave us in your sample plan. Let's take a look at the chain of custody. The chain of custody must be filled out and included with your returned sample bottles. If you're collecting your samples within the 120 Water account via your phone or other device, you'll just need to fill out Section 1. This is the preferred method and will save you some time. We've included information about your facility in the top left corner of the chain of custody. For Section 1, simply provide the date, your printed name, your signature, email address and phone number, and indicate the date and time the water was last used in the building, and tell us whether you plan to collect samples using your 120 Water account or via the paper chain of custody. Remember, Section 1 must be completed, no matter which collection method you use. If you have poor cell service or a bad internet connection, please fill out Section 2 with the time each sample was collected, as well as any notes you want to capture around the sample itself, like discolored water. Please also provide an explanation here if you weren't able to collect a sample for some reason. This way, we'll know why we received an empty sample bottle in your kit when it was returned. Time to collect your first sample. We are at Fixture 101, which is a faucet in a school kitchen. In this case, we're going to collect both an initial and flush sample. The initial sample is the first 250 milliliters of water taken from a fixture after water has not been used for at least 8 hours, but no more than 18 hours. This sample is meant to represent the influence of plumbing materials at or around the fixture, like the faucet water lines and shutoff valves. A flush sample is collected after running the water for a certain amount of time, in this case 30 seconds, and it should reflect the influence of plumbing components upstream of the fixture, like soldered water laterals behind the wall. By comparing the results of these two draw types, you might be able to better pinpoint the sources of lead when the results arrive. If you're required to sample by law, make sure your sampling protocol matches those requirements. Unscrew the cap of your initial sample bottle and carefully set it to the side, with the inside of the cap facing up. Then, put your sample bottle under the faucet and turn the cold water on about halfway. Fill the bottle up to the neck. Turn off the water and screw the cap on tightly. Make sure you put some muscle into closing the bottle so that your sample doesn't leak during transit. It's important to sample the cold water side, since this is where the most drinking water comes from. Now, you'll need to record your sample collection in your 120 Water account. Pick up your device and log in. Click Collect Sample and then select the plan that you're working on. Then click Collect right next to the fixture code and draw type associated with your sample. All the necessary information has already been entered in, but you can add the date and time that the water was last used at the fixture. You can also add collection notes that may help you interpret the results when they arrive, such as a slow flow rate or water discoloration. When all the information looks correct, just click Confirm. You'll see the status for the sample you took now says collected, and you can move on to the others. For the flush sample, you will be collecting a 30-second flush. Turn the water on at a medium flow rate and remove and set the bottle cap to the side. After 30 seconds, fill the bottle to the neck and tightly screw on the cap. Log the sample collection in your 120 water account or fill out Section 2 of the Chain of Custody form. When you're done, make sure all the bottles are in the box with tightly secured lids. Put the Chain of Custody form back in the box with Section 1 filled out. Again, if you are unable to note your collection times in your software account for any reason, please be sure to note your collection times in Section 2 of the paper Chain of Custody. Then close the box securely and attach the shipping label to the outside of the box. Finally, take your sample kit to the nearest post office by the end of the day. Once your samples have arrived at the lab, your results will be available within your 120 water account in about 2 weeks. Thank you for taking the time to ensure your facility has safe, clean, and reliable water quality. We hope this instructional video was helpful. Testing your water is the first step for you to know what you might be drinking, and just one of the many steps you can take to keep your facility's drinking water safe from lead. For more information, please visit our website 120water.com.